this my stuff. This my I can't use that. That's already been used. Hello, welcome back to my stuff. This is going to be a conversation about a movie. It's actually not a review. I don't want to give a review of a movie that I think a lot of people need to watch. I'm not going to give anything away. I don't necessarily believe there needs to be spoilers in this. There might be. You just never know. I will say that I'm not going to give you as much as Wikipedia gave me when I read it up. Wikipedia gives it entirely away. Do not look at Wikipedia at all if you want this movie to be a surprise. It literally tells the entire story. And I was a little bit like, holy cow, like thank God I didn't read that beforehand. When I was watching it, like I don't understand what's going on. I should have looked up what it was about first. And then I looked on the Wikipedia page and I was like, thank God I did not look it up first. It gives the entire plot away. So there's no spoilers in this, but I feel like this has given you enough time to decide if you think that you really might like it and you don't want to know anything about it. I kind of feel like the movie would have been better if I understood a little bit more about it. I decided to give that kind of a review. Not really a review, not really a recommendation. I'm calling it a conversation because I'm so deep. After I watched it, I decided I wanted to talk about this movie even though I fully intend to watch it a second time now that I understand it. There is so much of the movie that I didn't understand until literally the last part. What is going on in this movie? It's so, to me, choppy. And I hate to make like a reference to Punch Drunk Love, another Adam Sandler movie, but Punch Drunk Love is so choppy, kind of like this. Like you're going from one story to the next so quick. 1 second he's here, next he's there, now you're seeing what his wife's doing, now you're seeing what his side chick is doing, now we're back to him. There's just so many elements that it's like, unless you really know what's going on, you're kind of like, I'm lost. But it's kind of a good confused because now I'm like, I need to watch that again. I didn't really understand the depth of it until the end, and then I was like, oh, I get it. I didn't understand it. I went into the movie believing it was going to be about history. Call me crazy, but recent movies that have been coming out that have been like highly publicized and really marketed have been like some type of history thing, you know? I'm singling out the Irish. Anytime there's a really good movie out, it just seems to be like historical and it is really good. When it was called Uncut Gems and I heard Adam Sandler believed he deserved an Oscar for it, I was like, this must be about like some history guy. Some history guy. $30,000 of education right down the drain. I honestly thought it was going to be about like Cecil Rhodes or something, or like some kind of like diamond history. And when it started off, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be about the diamond guy. Or maybe there's another guy that discovered gems and this history is going to be about him. I honestly thought it was gonna be about De Beers or Cecil Rhodes or something like that. For like the first 30 minutes, I was so confused. Like it's so fast, it's you kind of have to like wrap your head around it. What is this? Why is it so high energy? And why is this guy making really bad mistakes? He is choosing things that you're like, why would you choose that? And the whole time, like for a whole hour, you're like, I don't get why that's the decision he made. Like he lends a priceless uncut gem to a basketball player. Again, I don't think this is a spoiler. I think you should probably know a little bit about it because I wish I had. And he just gives this uncut gem to this basketball player and he claims it's worth millions and that he paid a lot for it and he's trying to get more for it in an auction. But you're just sitting there like, why would he lend this to someone he doesn't really know? Does fame make you trust people more? Because if I had a priceless uncut gem and Jack Nicholson came up to me and was like, I need that, I shouldn't have used Jack Nicholson because I think I totally would give it to Jack Nicholson. But he doesn't even know the player, so I mean that doesn't even fit. Pick someone that is sort of cool to me in my world. Tom Brady. I know Tom Brady. I wouldn't give him a priceless gem. I'm having a huge problem getting over Adam Sandler being Adam Sandler. The unfortunate thing about being famous for being you, maybe this is just my generation of growing up in the 90s and knowing like everything about him and seeing him make so many movies of him almost being himself and then being so successful and good that it's almost a curse. You can't see Snoop Dogg as a serious person in another movie because he's Snoop Dogg. Once you're famous for being you, it's really difficult to see you as anything else, and I think that sucks because by the end of the movie, I was like, holy cow, he's totally a better actor than I really understood before. Punch Drunk Love just came out way too soon for me to really understand that depth. In fact, maybe I'm gonna watch it again just to kind of see if there's something I missed, and maybe it's better than I thought it was. For me, like, until like the last half hour, I was just seeing Adam Sandler being Adam Sandler. Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tap, tap, taparoo. Go to your home! Goo! Hey, he button hooked me. He button hooked me. I didn't know he was going to button hook me. A silky smooth. It's a silky smooth. You got Borophyll guy over here talking about God knows what. No, I will not make out with you. The 90s were seriously a really good time. There are no better sound bites than the 90s. If we were gonna send a documentation to aliens about what our best sound bites are, I'm certain everything from the 90s would be in that document. Even the accent he had in it, it was like, that's the Adam Sandler accent. Like, I don't even know what accent it is. The Adam Sandler accent, like, he uses it in everything. Oh, it's the GOAT. Like, I grew up on those CDs, okay? Like, I didn't have television. I had one channel. My generation, if you did not have money, you grew up on those CDs of, like, comedians. The Adam Sandler CDs, we lived on those. It's gonna be hard for you to see Adam Sandler as anything but Adam Sandler. That accent, what is it? The Adam Sandler accent. Well, I don't know how to word this. I don't want to give away spoilers because I want people to watch it. There is a scene in the movie where he is getting abducted and he is yelling at them in that accent, and I'm just like, I can't see him as anything but Adam Sandler. First like hour and a half of this movie, I was so confused. I was asking my partner questions. He was getting so frustrated with me because he was getting it, I think. I don't know, maybe he likes action more, or shows that are like for a 2-hour movie, it's just moving. Like, you're never sitting there thinking like, this is boring. I've seen comments of people say they think it's boring, and I'm just like, how? Like, I didn't even know what was going on, and it wasn't boring for me. Like, it was like scene after scene after scene. And it wasn't until the last half hour, 40 minutes that I was like, this is not about that. This is not history at all. This is about addiction. And I feel like if I knew that one piece, you don't need to know any other part of the movie. Just know that it is about living with an addiction, and that changes your perspective entirely. Once I realized that, I was like, I need to rewind everything and rewatch it because I had no freaking clue. I know that I said there was gonna be no spoilers, and I don't think that knowing it's about addiction is a spoiler. I think that would have helped me understand the entire movie. So literally, that's it. It's about addiction. Is that something you wanna watch? Because it gets pretty intense. Again, don't look at the Wikipedia page because they honestly give away the entire thing, and I was like, thank God I didn't look at this Wikipedia page. You need that surprise at the end for the depth to really, for it to sink in. You need that. Don't watch reviews, don't look at Wikipedia, know it is about addiction, and watch it. I mean, if you're someone that really cares about this type of thing, I know I'm coming at it from a biased perspective. This is kind of what I study. I will say, it is about addiction to gambling, and I almost don't want to tell you that, but I mean, it's gonna kind of be obvious within the first few minutes, but I just found it really interesting that I didn't really recognize it. Like, I study this stuff, and that's not something I recognize, and I realized it's because we actually don't have enough telling us about gambling addictions because it's so socially acceptable. I actually know so much more about cocaine and alcohol and various other substance abuse disorders, and I almost know next to nothing about a gambling addiction, which is weird because it is the most well-researched addiction. So I'm like, where is this disconnect in society that I almost know nothing? I guess there's probably like a death element to the drug ones, so we put a lot more emphasis on that in a course instead of a gambling addiction. But now I'm like super interested in reading about that. It didn't make sense the entire movie. Like I said earlier, that he was making all these bad decisions. Why did he think he deserved an Oscar in a movie that doesn't make sense? Like, I was wrong. I could admit that. Every decision, I was like pissed. I was like, no one would do that. No rational human being would do that or make that choice. And then at the end I realized, because he's not thinking rationally. He's got an addiction, and I totally get it now. All the choices from beginning to end made sense in the end, I'm totally gonna watch this movie a second time knowing what I know now. I have an assignment due at the end of one of my courses where you get to review a movie or a TV show and you have to go through it and, you know, identify different aspects of whatever you're choosing, whichever topic I want to learn. I think this is a really good opportunity for me to go through it and comb through and like understand why this person would make these choices in these situations. I'm completely looking forward to this assignment. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna be doing it. I'm a little bit older, so I don't think a lot of kids in my class are gonna watch Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. Call me crazy. I really think he's a 90s guy. I think his career's still going because people from the 80s and 90s are like, I love Adam Sandler. I'm seriously looking forward to that assignment and rewatching it and completely dissecting the movie and making it make sense in my head. Would I say that this movie is good for everyone? No, definitely not. I wouldn't ever say it's good for everyone. I don't think the Joker is good for everyone. I think there's people out there that really are dealing with these things and don't have someone in their life that they can turn to talk about it. I would say this would be a really good movie for someone who is studying addictions or mental health. I actually think it's a really good movie to watch if you are studying that, because I learned from it. I just don't think I knew enough about gambling addictions before this, and now I'm like, I want to. In retrospect, I can tell like this is something I need to rewatch. So I really appreciate that movies are really starting to bring these real issues with characters that you can see yourself in. If you haven't seen it and you've been meaning to, let me know. If you have seen it and you want to talk about it, totally talk about it with me, because it was good. It was really good. Or if you watched it like me and you could not get over Adam Sandler being Adam Sandler, I also want to know that too. I need to know I'm not crazy. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. My dog is snoring. I hope you can hear that.